In today's video, I'm going to show you 5 ways to create amazing glitchy percussion in your minimal deep tech tracks. It'll sound a bit like this. These are the real techniques that I've used over 4 years of producing this genre and getting releases on labels like Issues, Short Circuit, and many of the DJs who play this type of music in their sets, playing it all around the world. And make sure you stay to the end of the video for the last tip, which ties all of these individual ways to make glitchy percussion together. So the first way we can make glitchy percussion is using sequencers and one-shots inside a drum rack. So the first thing you want to do is just go into your search bar and type in glitch and then cycle through all your different audio clips and one-shots and create a collective folder inside a drum rack of just a bunch of random glitchy percussion hits. From there, we can use different sequences and MIDI programming to trigger this drum rack to play all of these random glitch hits in some kind of sequence, which may spark some creative ideas for us. The first one we've got is SEQ8. So this is a Max for Live plugin. So as long as you've got the Ableton 12 suite, you'll be able to pick this one up as well. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of sequences, but I quite like this one because it allows you some flexibility and control over the sequences compared to some of the other ones that we're going to look at in a second, which are more for randomness. So once you hit play, it's then going to start triggering these and you can shift any of the steps up and down the different octaves and different notes. And then you can start to make your own glitchy percussion sequence as easily as this. What I also like about this sequence 8 is that you can go down to either octave velocity or map and just hit the random, and it's then just going to randomize these things for you. So this is a really nice way to start building your glitchy percussion if you're not too sure where to start or if you're feeling uninspired. So the next one we have is Sting, which is a MIDI acid generator. Once you hit the smiley face, it's going to change the MIDI program, and you can change the density, transposition, and the length of the pattern as well, all within this plugin. And then the third variation of this is using an arpeggiator and the Ableton Random plugin. So this just means when we hold a MIDI note, it's then going to trigger an arpeggiator, which is then going to be randomized in sequence because of a second plugin in this chain. And then just like any of the techniques we're going to look at today, you can mess around with all of the parameters within inside the plugins, and it's going to create new movements and new modulations and variations of the glitches. Now, to capture the MIDI, all you want to do is insert an empty MIDI channel and go down and select the channel that you're using. So for us, we could use the sequence 8 one when we hit record. It's recording the MIDI, which then we can bring up to sequence 8. We can then turn off the sequence 8. And then you have the exact MIDI that that sequencer was programming, which you can then go in and change, add more notes, take stuff away. And this works exactly the same for Sting and the arpeggiator with the random plugin as well. So the second way we can make glitchy percussion is using stock Ableton effects. Now, don't get me wrong, I always love a new plugin, but I personally think for these glitchy effects, stock Ableton has exactly what you need. It's just you don't know where to look and you don't know which ones to find. And your money is always better off put into new equipment, coaching, or mentorship compared to buying that shiny new plugin, which for this video would be stuff like Tantra 2, Glitch 2, Effectrix. I've tried them all, and honestly, I just rely on these stock Ableton plugins. So the first one that we're going to look at is Vocal Fun, which is a beat repeat preset. Beat repeat does exactly what you imagine. It repeats the beat. It's a very simple plugin, and it sounds a bit like this on this top loop. So what this plugin is doing is adding in skips and repeats within the loop itself. So how it operates is you have your interval, which is how often this plugin will do its said effect. You have the offset is where it's going to do it within that interval. You then have the grid. So this is how quick the stutters are going to be. Variation is as simple as it gets. It's how many variations you have. Chance is the chance that it will happen. The gate is the length of the glitch. So the longer the gate, the longer the glitch and stutter will be. And then you have the pitch and the pitch decay, which personally I always recommend turning off or all the way down, as it just doesn't sound very natural. This is honestly one of the better ones in stock Ableton, so I'd highly suggest checking it out. Next up, we have the vocoder. So the vocoder can be used for an external trigger, meaning you can create weird, glitchy sounds by using two different samples. To explain this further, I have this loop down here, which is some kind of drone which I've pitched down 24 semitones. And then what we have set up is inside the vocoder, we've changed the carrier to external and the audio from that loop that I just showed you. So what's happening is we're hearing the sound of this loop that I've highlighted below, but then the actual audio above is going to be the trigger for when we're hearing it. Which you can create some really unique effects. You change out this drone for a bass sound, a pad, another glitchy loop, anything that's fairly sustained and playing for a long period of time. This technique definitely works well. Next up, we have a simple but highly effective way to make glitchy sounds, and that's with a tape delay. So all you're going to want to do for this is go and grab a normal delay, and typically it will be on sync. You just want to change that to time. You can affect the time of the delay to create either a quicker, high-pitched glitchy sound or a deeper, slower-pitched glitchy sound. And then if you want to take it one step further, you can always get something like an LFO, put the depth down and a sort of medium to slow rate, so you're getting a bit of movement on the sound like so. And then you're going to get more movement and modulation to the tape delay. And then finally for stock Ableton, we just have modulation plugins in general. So the first one I'd always recommend checking out is Shifter. So this allows you to either shift the pitch, frequency, or even add ring mod into the loop or audio that you're affecting. It's a really simple plugin. You can then just click on pitch, frequency, or ring. I personally just either use the pitch or the frequency. You can change the course and the tuning of the sound originally. And you can also change the frequency with either the coarse or the fine there too. And then the two main knobs you'll want to use are the rate and the amount, because this is where it will add the pitch shifting effect in. And you can obviously change it from a triangle to a sine if you would prefer. Other modulation plugins you've got is the phaser flanger. You're not going to get super intense glitches with this sound. It's a nice way of adding an extra bit of movement. And have a spectral resonator, which can really add some weird glitch and harmonic sounds to it. And I would be lying to you if I knew exactly what every single thing did in this plugin, but the best thing to do is just sit there, twist some knobs, and see what happens. And then you have spectral blur, which is on the same lines of the spectral resonator, but has some slightly different sounds and effects. And the same with spectral time. And when we look at the last way to make glitchy percussion in this video, it becomes much more clear how to use these effects and incorporate them into a groove rather than just making weird sounds for the sake of making weird sounds. Okay, so type number 3 for making glitchy percussion is my personal favorite, and that is the slicing method. So what you want to do for this is go off and find some glitch loops within your sample library or somewhere like Splice. Drag and drop them onto individual MIDI channels like we have over here. Then on the simpler or sampler, you'll want to go down to where it says classic and change this to slice. So what this is doing is Ableton is then picking up all the individual transients and slicing those transients and hits to a MIDI note on your keyboard. So when I go off to my keyboard now and hit a note, I now have glitch hits all on my keys. And the reason why this is my favorite way of making glitchy percussion is because one, it's super fast and efficient. All you need to do is have a collection of glitch loops that someone else has made and done the hard work for you. Two, you're then getting so many sounds from one individual loop. And three, you can easily play in your own rhythm and you're not relying on the audio file and then chopping up the audio file. For me, anything that incorporates some MIDI keys makes me actually feel like I'm producing rather than programming. And the fourth way we can make glitchy sounds with inside Ableton is Ableton's built-in warp features. So all we're going to need to do for this is go and find some glitch sounds or maybe even some samples inside of our track already. And then from here, we just want to maybe take a individual section out of this loop. And then we'll put a marker on the start and a marker on the end. And we're just going to drag this out like so. Then if we open up this loop, you can see we're getting these stuttered glitch effects. And if I really over-exaggerate, you can see how I can manipulate glitch to my liking. And then you can go ahead and use the warp features and change it from beats to tones or textures, which is then going to give you this kind of grainy flux effect. And you can always play around with the preserve setting by changing it to either 1/16, 32, or even the 1/8 setting, and then changing the arrows down to a 1 arrow. And you're going to get this more stuttery, chopped effect to the sound. This works really well on vocals as well. So if I just go and grab one individual bit of the vocal, marker on the start, put a marker towards the end, stretch it all the way out. And then I could change that to beats. So I'm getting a nice glitch effect there. Change it to tones or textures. And of course, don't overlook the ability to manually create your own glitches by cutting audio files. The key is to make them really quick, and that's how you get that stuttery effect. Okay, and the final way how we make glitchy percussion is through resampling. So this is the one that ties everything together, in my opinion. So I can show you the theory like I have on to how to make all of these weird sounds and stuff. But in an actual groove, they often don't sound very good. So let's just go back to type 1, the sequencing, and type 4, these glitchy stutters, and listen to a section of a groove. There's just no control or rhythm. It's just random noises for the sake of it. And then this is where resampling comes in because it allows you to have full control over the sounds. So all you're going to need to do to resample stuff is insert an audio channel, and then you're going to change your external in to resampling. Then you'll go over to the record enable. Then from here, go off and solo individual channels or groups of the glitches to bounce down to audio. So now we have it down to audio, we can chop this up manually. So now we have it to audio, we can chop it up manually and move things around so they're hitting different positions. We could have also taken this full loop that we resampled and we could have put it down to MIDI to slice. And then you can make really cool sections like this bit here, which you would never been able to done if you didn't resample the audio. Resampling doesn't have to be as superficial as this. It can go way deeper. For example, you could use all the different techniques like I have in the demo track up here to make the glitches. And I could resample what I've already created. So let's go ahead and do that. We've got crossover phaser and then this cut-o-matic plugin. So now I could go down to the resampling channel. record enable, and then record. And then we've just created an audio loop from there. And like that end bit's pretty cool, whereas adjusting the phaser, maybe this can make some kind of rising effect. Now let's take a listen to what that effect sounds like inside the track. And it sounds sick because it was already made from things inside the track. There you go, that's the 5 ways I make glitchy percussion. And I know these techniques work because they haven't just worked for myself, but they've also worked with the hundreds of producers that I've worked with on a one-to-one basis. If you want to work with me, either as a one-off lesson or for a full-on program mentorship, then just go and click on the link below. Anyways, I will catch you in another video very soon.